Okay, hello, welcome back to another video. Today we are playing e4 as per usual. My opponent decides to respond with e5. We get to play knight to f3 here. Will we see knight to c6? Most likely, although we could see d6, we could see knight f6. We do see knight c6, allowing me to play my favourite opening, the Scotch. Yes, please. 2 pawns in the centre. How do you like them apples? We're going to pre-move recapturing centrally. Now we get the classical variation here maybe. We get the Schmidt variation here maybe. There's also this move knight takes d4, which is kind of rubbish. Bishop c5 is the classical variation of the Scotch. Bishop e3, and the next move in the classical variation is, in fact, queen to f6. Will my opponent play it? Are they familiar with the theory? Only time will tell. If they are, I'm not going to be playing the main line. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm going to be... legitimately a knife through the heart to not see queen f6 there, allowing me to play the Blumenfeld. Instead, we get like a trade here that I'd imagine they're going to take here. If not, okay, we at least get a bishop pair out of this, unless we don't because this pawn's hanging. So should I save this bishop? My pawn is just going to hang. I guess I'm going to play knight c3. If you take, I think I still just have a better position. If you don't take, we got a bishop pair. We got an open position. I'm still excited. Now, I want to save the bishop. I really would rather you weren't able to take this. If I go bishop here, knight g4 might be really annoying, but I guess I could go bishop f4, kick the knight later, bring the bishop back maybe, queen d2, castle. I think I will go bishop e3. The dark squared bishop here is the imbalance in this game. Obviously, we have some other minor imbalances like, okay, a 4-on-3 pawn structurally speaking on the king side, and the same vice versa on the queen side. But otherwise, the material is identical, except a bishop for a knight. And my plan is to make this dark square bishop as excellent as possible. We're going to play f3 here. We're going to house our bishop and prevent knight g4 harassing it. We are also going to solidify our center here, and h6. I'm so happy to see this move. Why? Because h6 is a hook. Erroneously, my opponent assumes that I was trying to put the bishop on g5 at some point, maybe pin this. I don't know, they don't like me having access to g5. What this does is it means that when I inevitably, if you're subscribed to this channel for long enough, you'll know what's about to happen. Play queen d2, queenside castle, and throw some flipping pawns at my opponent's king. This h6 pawn is going to mean that when I play g5, I'm going to be attacking both the pawn and the knight, and should you move with the knight, I'm going to be able to tear open my g-file. Should you take, I'm going to be able to recapture and tear open my h-file. Effectively, we are going to be able to force open a file in front of the king, or at least very close to in front of the king, on the king side, I guess I should say here, with some clever maneuvering of our g and h pawns. All the while, in an opposite side castling position, the victor tends to be the player with the most effective pawn storm. Our opponent doesn't really seem to have started getting that going. Now they might here, they might play a6. That would be a pretty telling move that they're going to play b5 and look to expand towards this side of the board. Or we're going to see knight h7. Okay, knight h7 is a baffling move. A frankly baffling move. I'm just going to play queenside castles here before even thinking about what this is, because I need to get castled, and, you know, there's potential shenanigans if I don't. Clearly not, because I always have, like, bishop f2 or whatever, but it's good practice to kind of castle early and often. They play f5. I was thinking, are they doing this so they can play f5? But I do just get this check for free. Bishop e6 hangs a bishop. Rook here clearly makes no sense. This... I mean, we dominate this square so viciously. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces looking at d5. And now you've just got a bishop just sticking in, like, right next to the... I mean, this makes no sense. This makes no sense. You need to be attacking like this. You don't need to be worrying about weakening your king here. Now, that does mean that maybe I should marginally switch up my game plan, I guess. I could still play h4. That's still probably a very good move. If you have a take here, I think I just take with the knight. I'm not worried about a fork, of course. Okay, you know what? h4. Reason being, I kind of like not allowing knight g5. I was thinking they might do this. And I was also thinking that potentially I'm going to be transferring a knight over, even looking to sacrifice it for an open h-file. Okay, yeah, this looks gorgeous. Knight e4. Knight e4. Also, the prophecy from earlier of this dark squared bishop becoming extremely effective. I think we're going to see that manifest. Because I think, I mean, even immediately I could probably get away with sacking this. Almost certainly not, and, you know, I would just lose in advantage. But the idea's already brewing. Now, if I play g4 here and you take, and I recapture, I do like my position. g5's probably coming. Things look good. Do I think about knight g5? If you take with the knight, I'm very happy because I take with the pawn and that's an open rook. If knight g5 and you take with the queen, clearly, okay, we don't need to discuss that. If knight g5 and you take with the pawn, this looks problematic to me. I might be wrong. I could be very wrong, because you might play g6. This bishop might actually be annoyingly helpful defensively, but I'm thinking maybe g4. I'm thinking we slide the queen over. I'm thinking an open h-file is damn well worth a knight, especially when we get a pawn in return. Now, this could be throwing away all the advantage I clearly have in a very pleasant position. And that's exactly why I'm going to do it. Knight g5. The fact that we're threatening a fork here kind of forces the issue in terms of, are you going to take this? I actually doubt my opponent will, to be completely honest. I'd be immensely scared to take this as black. Again, maybe objectively this was a blunder. Who knows? But if it was a blunder, it's my favourite kind of blunder. It's my favourite kind of blunder. Also, if they don't take it, we can kind of just leave the knight here. Because at some point, you're going to have to take it if you want it gone. And if you don't want it gone, that's a knight that's controlling some extremely important squares. Imagine bishop g6, let's say, to defend this fork threat, and you just leave the knight here because you don't want to, open the files. Then I've just got a knight on g5, Also, in fact, bishop g6 would hang the fork here to the rook and queen. So, I mean, this is definitely the move that I would play again and again in this kind of position. They just come across with a knight. That's interesting. I guess you're defending the fork that way. You're also attacking my bishop, so this makes sense. I do think we're just going to step back here. I want to be holding this square. I'm kind of nervous about something like knight c4. If they can justify that, maybe d4 and knight c4. I also can't allow a load of trades now that I've made this extremely risky decision. Like, for instance, if this, I can't really look to win the... I mean, maybe I could look to win the pawn, but say I took with the queen and then queen takes, bishop takes, then you cash in here. Without a queen, you're looking probably, it's far less likely that I'm going to mate my opponent. So they bring the queen in, they're just scared to take the knight, which does make a lot of sense. I'm thinking we might damn well bring the bishop onto that diagonal where the queen and king are situated. However, there is an immediate c5. I could drop back, maybe b5, and things start getting a bit uncomfortable. Although I would have f4. I do like this. I also like g4, but then bishop g6, and I don't really think I'm threatening to play h5 because I need to keep this pawn defending the knight. So I think I will just start here with bishop d4. I'm completely aware that c5 is a move that immediately forces me to move the bishop. I'm happy to realign to c3 because then you have to spend at least one tempo playing b5 before you're threatening the move b4, and in doing so I then get to play f4, attack the knight while it's pinned. Even if you then play this, I could take, because I get to take your queen, or maybe you get to take my queen. That might be a bit more complicated than I even realized. However, the bishop's looking at the king in this way. I mean, it's very hard to believe that this isn't strongly winning. Although the currently hanging knight might make it a little bit easier to believe that this isn't strongly winning. But of course, this is what we're here to do on the Will Taylor Chess channel. We're here to play fantastically outrageous moves. We're here to try and get open H-files. We're here with the bishop pair, and we're here to win some beautiful games. Rook here. I mean, frankly, give me that. Frankly, give me that. What did I say about this dark square bishop? What did I say about this dark square bishop? You may not move this knight unless you go to here or here. Either way, I can just take it though. You're going to lose that piece. Now, given that you're going to lose it anyway, there's maybe a case that you want to do that, but it doesn't make any sense to me really. Now, is there a case maybe that I should have played g4 there first and then this? Nah, because I probably just destabilized one. Yeah, I mean, this is very hard to... I did not see that. Wow. Hold on, because this knight's hanging as well, so... Wow. I take this, you take my queen. I take your queen. I think I can play queen takes here. Should I play pawn takes? You just get to take this. And then, okay, maybe I get knight here check, but I don't want to just be up an exchange here. That would suck. I think queen takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. Yeah, I think we play queen takes here. It's kind of cool to play queen takes as well. I don't know, I'm just tempted by the fact that we get to capture a knight that's so obviously defended by a bishop. However, of course, we're attacking their queen as well. Not much thought to be done there. I don't know precisely how this is going to end, because there's a whole lot of stuff going on here, a whole lot of tension, a whole lot of general ideas. There's a fork inbound here. Maybe knight f7 is going to be most appropriate. But if you ever take the knight, again, we still get that counterplay that the h-file's open. So maybe what we're effectively doing here is winning a piece with f4 to then give it back to convert my advantage from a minor piece is worth of an advantage to an open h-file's worth of an advantage. Now, whoa, do I want to do this? I think I probably should do this if we're being completely honest. If we're being completely honest, I am just up a piece. I think maybe they missed out, or rather just missed, sorry, the fact that this, I would love nothing more than this. They bring like rook across here and I go checkmate on g7. Oh, I could also take here, king takes by force, then check. That would also be kind of pleasant. But nah, I think we just cash in on the rook here. Maybe stepping back would have still been winning and would have been kind of romantic. But at this point, we are up a rook and I can either trade this or take here. I don't really want to trade. I think I'd rather go check. We're going to force them to give the light squared bishop up. They can still win this, win a pawn back, by the way. However, what I intend to do is put my bishop on at g6. Alongside this pawn structure, that is going to be an absolutely disgracefully strong tomb for this king. I mean, yeah, you can take this. I'm not really looking to take this knight, to be honest. I'm looking to cement the bishop in there and then mate you. In fact, I think we just have rook f1 here. No, rook f1 you take on h4. I think I'll just start with rook e1. Rook e1. We're threatening mate if you take on... Well, clearly you're not going to take on h4 if the rook's still defending it here. But what we are threatening is rook here. Rook goes back, takes, rook e1. King comes across, rook in here, and a complete paralyzing of the position. Or our opponent can do that and defend this check. All I care about is that this bishop stays here because the king is not going anywhere. Like currently, look at the box that we draw here. And absolutely, yeah, you're not getting past that. You're not getting past that. I might just go here and stack, honestly. I think that might be the simplest way to do things. I'm also threatening to come in under here. So I think rook e7 here. I mean, you move the knight, it's mate. You move the rook. I don't really see where you're moving that rook to be honest. You're going to go there and try and hit my bishop. But now we get the oh so gorgeous, the oh so gorgeous h5. And even if you sack for this, we then play pawn takes, and you're still squeezed beyond belief. And I think h5 is just a great idea. And after rook to g2, I think I might play rook f1. Well, rook f1 would probably be inaccurate actually, because then king here. Ideally, what I'd like to be able to do is go check, force the knight to take, and then mate here. So if rook g2, rook f1, that would be possible, but then there's king g8. Whereas if rook g2, rook e1, then I go check, knight takes here, and even if king g8 happens after rook e1, sorry, that's still a checkmate. But yeah, I mean, it's just, there's nothing you can do here. The king tries to come across, fine, but at this point, I mean, I can slide in this way. We're immediately threatening checkmate here, so you've got to step across again, but then we go check. Oh, we force you back over here, and then maybe, I don't know, we just take here. It's just clearly over for the opponent. Situating the bishop here, and then putting the pawn here and just saying, you are never moving. Oh wait, hold on, sorry, if king here, I just go check. Oh, that's even nicer. Am I hearing... Quando, sono, sogno, mancan parole. A little bit of opera graces my ears, perhaps. Because I think what we have here is an unstoppable opera mate on e8. An unstoppable opera mate. King here, check here, mate. Frankly embarrassing that I'd even consider rook f7 in that position. And I believe the fat lady is singing. Your mom. That was a joke, nothing but love and respect to all of your mothers out there watching. What a lovely finish. And oh my lord, a 98% accurate game, 0 inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, perfect chess. That is 2 games in a row on this channel, the last video and this one, which had the same stats, 98% accuracy, no inaccuracies, no mistakes, no blunders. I may in fact be the greatest chess player of all time. Either that or I cherry pick the games. And in this recording session, I stalemated a completely new position. That's possible. There's no evidence for that. Unless you go on my Lead Chess account and look through all my games and find evidence for that. Don't do that. But oh my lord, it is nice to pull out that kind of performance. Let's go through the game. So e4, e5, we go for this scotch here. And then our opponent takes. Now, if queen f6, we can go for our Blumenfeld ideas. I won't delve into those in this video, of course. Instead, they took, which just isn't ideal, I guess, because you're giving up the bishop for no reason. And if you recapture to get back the bishop, then, I mean, I'm just threatening this. If you go here, probably there's e5. I think actually knight h5, g4 is a knight trap here. So like queen e7, maybe bishop e2. This clearly isn't a very good position for black. So taking here, I mean, just not ideal. Instead, they went knight f6. This is clearly playable, by the way, but you do give me the ability to retain the bishop pair. Then I'm playing f3. All of a sudden you see a slow advantage starts to build. We go queen d2. We queenside castle. This move made no sense, although apparently didn't really worsen their position much. It's good to note that h6 in fact was an inaccuracy and gave me some semi-significant advantage. That is because of the ideas that I highlighted. It's a hook to bite on with g5 eventually. However, queenside castles, give the check, king moves, h4 time, and then, hold on. I only just remembered what happened this game. Bishop here, knight g5, baby! Now, we do see a slight dip in the evaluation graph here, but it's not enough to elicit even one inaccuracy from the engine's analysis. So every single time knight g5 is fantastic. Then we go back with the bishop, and at this point, I mean, bring the bishop here. They should have gone for c5. I was prepared for that. I was going to go bishop here. And in fact, then the only move for my opponent would have been c4, which I didn't really think about. But I guess bishop a4, and it gets kind of complicated there. Instead, my opponent brought the rook. We then play f4. They give the check, which is kind of interesting, of course. However, once I take with the queen, best move. They take here. I take their queen. They should have taken my bishop. And after that, I think I can just go in here with check. And the point is, if you go king g7, king here clearly makes no sense because you just walk into the check. So king g7, I guess I get to take this. Oh my lord, that's nasty. And if you go here to avoid the check from the bishop, then you walk into this fork, meaning that you can't save this bishop because otherwise there's this, unless you can because you go via here. But at this point, again, just here, and it's we're up a full rook. So clearly this was not going to end well for my opponent. We take here, and then it's just perfect stuff. It's perfect stuff. We put the bishop on g6. We bring the rook. We go rook to e7. We play h5, and then rook here. I mean, they could have gone for rook f4 because then if I'd gone here, they would have had rook to f8. Clearly here I would have been completely winning. I mean, I could have just traded this and won the endgame. But also, I probably wouldn't have sacked originally. I'd have probably just grabbed this, stacked here, easy peasy. Or looked to just be giving this check as well. Point is, the king is absolutely encapsulated by the bishop here. But of course, they went across and allowed rook to e8 and resignation because if knight takes, we have rook takes and a beautiful opera mate. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. I very much enjoyed playing it. The ending, I mean, seldom is there a more satisfying mate to me than an opera mate. Obviously you've got smothered mates, Arabian mates, basically any mate with like a pawn or a knight is clearly very cool. But there's just something about sacrificing material for an opera mate which just, it speaks to my inner Paul Morphy. Shout out to Paul Morphy, just over there by the way. You can see him on the other side of the screen. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do apologize for playing perfect chess for these last 2 videos. I will definitely be back with a terrible game just full of dubious mistakes, which I somehow win in a very, very tight time scramble. I'll definitely be back with that kind of video very soon. You know, you can rely on me playing bad chess for content. Also, for those of you still watching, I imagine most people have clicked off the video by now, but this is probably a relatively core subscriber base. I'm planning on creating a Patreon on Sunday the 2nd of March, I believe. I don't know precisely when I'm going to upload this video, but it'll be a few days before that. As I'm coming close to the end of my degree, I'm really excited to try this full time and try and make money from this and, you know, put my life and soul into YouTube and chess and that kind of thing. And so alongside some beginner, intermediate coaching, etc., I've decided to start a Patreon. For those of you not interested, thank you so much for watching regardless, and I will see you in the next one. But for those of you interested, I'm going to be releasing a weekly exclusive video like this on there, and potentially, if I get inventive over the next week, offering some other perks as well. It will be the best way to support the channel, so look out for that if you want to support the channel and want to get some bonus Will Taylor Chess content. But yeah, that'll be out with a bonus Patreon exclusive video on Sunday the 2nd of March, so I'll do some kind of community post. Again, I'm just sort of teasing this to hopefully relatively core subscriber base. I'm planning on doing a few tiers, maybe some other cool stuff. I don't know. Enough of that because it's not even out yet, and why am I even promoting it at this point? Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.